Hey YouTube, this is Anthony with you on this channel. We're going to continue our project on converting the Ford Factory 5.0 HO harness to a standalone. This one we're going to go through and label our connectors, remove the wires that we do not need. So that's going to be anything related to the air conditioning and anything related to emissions. And anything that's going to the dash that we're not going to use, we're going to remove that from our harness too. So we're going to need some marking tape, masking tape, or anything that you can write on, a Sharpie type marker, a pen. We're going to need our drawings, and we're also going to need a pad or something to write notes on. So get all this together and we'll be ready to go. All right, YouTube, we're back and we're going to go through this harness that we've set up. Give you a little tip on using our electrical tape to wind this up. Excuse me. I like using electrical tape. It's pretty inexpensive. You don't feel like you're wasting tie wraps if you cut them or whatnot. But one bad thing, obviously, it's sticky. When you wrap it around, when you pull the wires out, it could pull off some of the black adhesive onto the wire, which makes it dirty and nasty. And it's not as easy to pull a wire out. So here's a little trick for you guys. Take your electrical tape. All right, we want to do the non-sticky side down. Hold it with a finger. And wrap until it sticks to itself. When you get to the end, just make you a twist on it a couple times. This gives a little pigtail that you can use to pull off later when you're wrapping this up a little bit. We're going to be doing that as we go through here, and just a little tip for you guys. So, pardon me. This is the mass air. It's a generic connector for the mass air. It hasn't changed from 88 to the 95. I've already marked it, so I'm just going to let you guys see what it looks like. It's got 4 wires on it. This one is our MAP sensor or barometric pressure sensor. I've already labeled that one too. Got a little ahead of myself, sorry. Also, I'm using, mine's an 88 to 91 harness. And then there's a 91 through the 93 harnesses. 91 was kind of a bridge year where you may have colors of the older 88 through 91 with some of the upgraded stuff from 91 to 93. So from what I gather is mid-year-ish, Ford started putting the fuel pump relay in the engine compartment. It is next to a relay for the air conditioning cutoff, and it's underneath the mass air sensor in those cars. If you don't have that relay, then it's going to be an 88 to the 91. It may have different colors, so that's something Ford did that's not always the greatest. But let's not worry about that. We're going to go through using a drawing on the veryuseful.com page. I link that in the descriptions. It's going to give us a pinout on all of our wiring harnesses. So let's just go through and we're going to label some more of these here and be right back. So this is the test, which it says EEC test right there on it. I don't know if you guys can see it real well or not, but this is our test plug. I'm not going to pull it out. We're just going to go ahead and label the plug, and we'll go through. Some of these wires will be taken out. Some of them will be kept. So, like I said, masking tape, Sharpie, and there we go. This is our TFI or distributor connector. You'll know right away that it's part of the distributor because it has this foil that protects the signal. It also has a they call it like a drain or a ground on this part. And this is our spout. So we're going to go ahead and name or label this TFI. All these things that I'm labeling are definitely things that we're going to keep in our harness. Here's our coil connector. Now granted, some of these wires are dirty and old, but this is what the coil connector looks like. It may have another wire off of it, a little pigtail, but just to show you guys what it looks like. This is our EEC relay. Now we're going to rewire the relay, but we're going to go ahead and label it now so we can make sure that we get the wires ready. You'll know it's got the yellow, which never changed. That's the power in, and the red. And then you've got a red and a green, which is our key on. So that would be like the run condition off of our ignition switch. And then the black with the white is a ground. We'll go through that later, but we'll go ahead and mark it EEC for now, relay. If you want to put relay on there, that's up to you, but it's kind of obvious that it is the relay. All right, real quick, we're going to look at our 60-pin connector. And from the drawings for these notches, you can use these notches to see where some of the wires are on it. At 20, 40, and 60, it has a ground. If you look at like this with the notches right here, you'll see black wires with white stripes. These are 20, 40, and 60. This one, if I can pull this out, sorry. This connector here, or this terminal, is a ground the case to the body. So what I like to do is go ahead and mark these 20, 40, and 60. And that lets us count our pins either direction to help us out. So once we got this started, I'm gonna take a quick pause and I'm gonna go around and wrap up this harness a little bit. I'll show you when I come back, and then we're gonna go through and remove the pins to the emissions, and I'll explain that as we go. Okay, I got my harness banded up with the electrical tape. So we're going to start tearing the stuff out. And again, in the beginning I said we'll not be using any of the emission stuff. No EGR vacuum solenoids, the canister purge solenoids, air management 1 and 2 solenoids. So those are almost always right here after the grommet. So you want to grab one of these and look. Here's what the end looks like. Just by looking at our drawings. Even though it says brown with pink. I'm not sure if you can see the pink. I'll hold that up there. Brown with pink. I know it looks black. So this is our EGR vacuum solenoid. It goes to pin 33, and we're going to follow that and make sure it goes to pin 33 before we pull it out. So right now I'm going to go ahead and just get this to where we can, what you want to do is just go ahead and pull it through your harness. And you'll see it move as you pull it through. You can pull back and you'll see it move here. So we know we found it. And we're going to pull it. I have to undo some of this actually. Yeah. See how easy that was to undo? Didn't leave any adhesive or anything sticky to mess with. So we've got our, pull it back. Okay. So we're going to pull it. And so we found it in the harness. Here it is, our brown and pink. So again, the way the pin is, remember, 20, 40, 60, looking at it like that. This is going to be 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through, I guess that would be 30, and 31 through 40. So we'll be able to track this down. You know, it's kind of difficult. You got to pull this thing open. Look. So pull that thing open, and you can count your pins down to where it goes. So again, there's 40. So we can count down 40, 39, 38, until we get to our wire right here. So that would be 31, 32, 33. So we know from 31, 32, 33. That is what we want. So to pull these out, take your little flathead screwdriver. It doesn't have to be super small, but it needs to be fairly small. You can take and just pry on these on this red here. Just work your way back and forth. You're not going to affect the pins, they're down in there pretty far. But just work on that until you get it coming out. And then pop that thing out. Again, we marked this so it's easy. Remember, this is going to be 31, 32, and 33. So to pull this pin out, you need to take this screwdriver again. We're going to jam it down in here. Go ahead and push the wire forward, and you can release it. There is a, if you look really close, there's a little tab on the side, maybe difficult to see, that you're just going to push and release. So once we know we got that out, go ahead and take some cutters. What I like to do is leave you a little wire in case you need to ever put this back. You can solder this one. So go ahead, and we're going to pull it all out. So there's number one we got. Go ahead and save all these pieces. You never know when you might need a little piece to solder in. If you get a bad pin, maybe you find out you got a bad pin later, you've got extras that you can replace and replace the wire with. So keep all these at least a little while until you got everything running, you know it's good to go. So once that's off, go ahead, cut that. I'm going to tell you all the red wires come back right here behind the grommet to a big fat junction of wires. This is going to be pins 37 and, I'm sorry, excuse me. Yes, 37 and 57. I'm just going by memory. I don't have the drawing right here in front of me, but so 37 and 57 is this. We're going to clean some of this up. So go ahead, and if you can find that one. Now we'll, there it is. Go ahead and pull it. I'm gonna leave a little bit and go ahead and cut it out of the way. Right. So on to the next one. This one is difficult to see. This is our air management solenoid number 1. It's pin 38 and it's white and yellow. And it is so difficult to see the yellow on here. You really need to get in here really good. I almost didn't see it. I almost thought it was just plain white, and then you can just barely see a strip of yellow. So again, we're going to track it back through our harness again, just like we did the other one. So we know this is 40. There is a missing pin where 39 is, and this is 38. So we can go through here and look, it is a white with yellow. We'll give it a little pull here and you'll see it move. So we know that's the one we want to take out. So counting down, again, if you mark this, it's a lot easier. This is 40, 39, 38. You can see the little flat right here next to the pin. That's where we're gonna stick our screwdriver in. So push the wire forward. That'll help release the lock on it. And then you just stick your screwdriver in here. I make it sound so simple, but sometimes this can be a pain in the butt. And pull it right out. So once we have that out, we're gonna go ahead and cut our connector off again. Again, like I said, I like to leave a little bit. Go ahead and cut it. And we're gonna pull that wire out. And we've got 2 stuff out of the way. All right, now our air management solenoid number 2. Excuse me. It's white with a green stripe. So we're gonna go to our harness and find 32. Remember, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32. So we'll look on the back here. And in 32 is our green, our white with our green. So we're gonna go ahead, push the wire in, jam our screwdriver in there. Maybe. And pull our pin out. So there's our white and our green. We can go ahead and pull by testing. We know it pulls that connector. Let's see the wire. Go ahead and cut the end off, leave a little bit for future, and we can pull out our wire. So you can see I've got the 2 reds. We'll go ahead and pull these back. And snip those off. So you can see we're gonna really start getting rid of some of these that we don't need. So in just a matter of a few minutes, we've already gotten rid of literally 6 wires that are going through here. We're gonna undo this and we'll redo this connection later when we've got our relays ready to go, because we'll be using some of the power or tapping into the power. Guys, I made a huge foobar on telling you all this. I've got this backwards. So if you're looking at it like this, this is 60 on this side. The ground is 60, then 40, and then 20. I apologize. I must have had this upside down when I was looking at it. So again, I apologize. So I'm gonna redo this one. 60. And then 20. I'm so sorry, guys. I hope this hasn't screwed anybody up so far. So our next thing is we're going to get rid of the air conditioning on it. Again, that was close to where all those emissions plugs are. This is what the plug looks like. Most of the times you can tell they're tarnished and they've got burned and broken wires. This is to the clutch area right itself. So in ours we've got a pink with a blue wire, a yellow and black, and a purple and black. We also have, this is our air conditioning wide open relay. So when the engine would go wide open, it would turn the air conditioning off. So on here we've got a red, a black and yellow, a pink and yellow. Although it really looks white, you're gonna really have to stretch these colors. I apologize for that. And then a pink and light blue. We will not be using any of this in our, if you want to keep AC in yours, you're gonna have to look at that and figure that. It should be fairly simple just to keep this section in there, but for ours we're taking it out. So our pink and light blue is actually comes off of our relay and goes to our harness for the plug, excuse me, for the air conditioning. I'm going to cut this out. I'm not saving it, so I'm cutting all of them off. We're going to go ahead and pull our pink with light blue out. All right. Next, I'm going to go ahead from the relay and we're going to cut the red. I'm going to cut it further because these relays can be reused if you want to use it for anything. So I'm going to just cut it, give myself some good wire to use. And then I will pull this red up to the main part of the harness. And again, it's coming around to the back side of that main red, the 37 and 57. So snip that off. Our next wire out of this is going to be the black and yellow, which is the grounding part. So again, just so I can use it later, I'm going to snip it back. We'll pull this out and it pulls up into this main setup. I'm just going to leave this long because it may end up we can trim that completely out. I don't know just yet. And then the last one on this is our pink and yellow. This was the signal wire from the computer to the relay to say, hey, I'm wide open. Go ahead and shut the air conditioning off. So I'm gonna, again, trim this here, but before I trim it, we're gonna track this back around to pin 54. So we can pull on our cable, we see it right here. Go ahead and give it a little tug until we see it move here. I like to just go ahead and pull it back just to make sure that that's what we have, and it is indeed what we have. Again, sorry for the screw up, guys, but pin 60, so you can count down 60, 59, 58, 57, which 57 and 37 will always be flat, plain red. That'll help you. 56, 55, and then 54, the wire that we're looking for. So we can go down 60, 59, 58, 57, 56, 55, and 54. Push your wire up, put the screwdriver in, and we got our pin out. So I'm going to pull this around. And then there we go. We got a relay we can use later. I'm gonna set that off to the side. So the other wires, we're gonna just go ahead and pull these out. The black and the purple was going to our dash connectors. The green one, there's lots of stuff we're gonna save in this, so don't just cut the end off of it. We'll go ahead and pull this black with purple out. And then I'm not saving any of this at all, so I'm just gonna trim it and toss it off to the side. And last but not least, we've got our black and yellow. Which is running down to pin 10. Before I remove it, let's see where it goes to. So I've got on my pad here the pin set up. This is a drawing. It's upside down for you guys. I apologize, but it's on the very useful. I can go to look at pin 10, which says AC clutch signal. So we don't need that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. And push the wire in. And there's, let's see, there's one, which one will always be yellow. That's our main EEC power. That powers the computer so it doesn't lose its programming and whatnot. It's like a full-time power. It actually goes back to the battery full-time. Push the wire up, jam our screwdriver in, and out comes our pin. So we're going to save that off to the side. Alright guys, that's what we have this time. Subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. Good comments, bad comments, just make the video better. Next time we're going to be working on removing the brown, the black, and the green connectors and the wiring associated with that. So we'll see you guys next time.